RPG. Saga 2 is a game that holds a special place in my heart. Even now, thinking about it fills me with a bittersweet nostalgia. I was born with severe childhood asthma. I often had to wake my mom up in the middle of the night to take me to the hospital, and things got worse when I started elementary school. Of course, I couldn't participate in PE, and I couldn't even play outside with the other kids. By the time I was in 5th grade, my condition had deteriorated so much that I had to go to the hospital almost every day for inhalation therapy. Eventually, it got so bad that I had to be admitted to the hospital for 3 weeks. I was placed in a 4-person room with an elderly woman, an older man, and a girl about my age. I've always been painfully shy and incredibly self-conscious, so I found it hard to connect with the people in my room. I spent most of my time studying alone or playing on my Game Boy. The game I had brought with me from home was Saga 2. I'd already beaten it once, but with nothing else to do, I decided to play it again. About a week into my stay, I noticed that whenever I was playing, the girl in the room would quietly watch me from a distance. Whenever I looked at her, she would quickly look away. I figured she might want to play too, so I asked, "Do you want to borrow this?" Her eyes lit up as she asked, "Really?" I handed it to her, saying something like, "I'm bored with it anyway," trying to hide my embarrassment. But as I expected, she didn't know how to play, so she just kept staring at the screen. I ended up teaching her how to play, and we started progressing through the game together. The main character of our party was a human male named Ryota after me, and her character was a human female named Sayaka after her. We also named the Esper girl and the robot after the elderly woman and the older man in our room. As we played, we grew closer, and soon we were talking about more than just the game. We talked about school, our families, our favorite music, and the upcoming summer vacation. Time flew by, and before I knew it, it was time for me to leave the hospital. As the nurses and other patients congratulated me on my discharge, she was the only one crying. Seeing her cry almost made me cry too, but I held it in and said, "I'll lend you this until you get out. Make sure to contact me when you're out," as I left her the Game Boy and Saga 2. I wanted to visit her many times after that, but whenever I was about to, I felt too embarrassed and ended up not going. A year and a half passed without any contact, and I was about to graduate from elementary school. I wanted to see her at least once more before graduation, so I finally decided to visit. But when I got to the hospital room, she was no longer there. Her name wasn't on the door either. I figured she must have been discharged a long time ago, so I went to the nurse's station to ask. They tried to brush me off with something vague about her going far away, but I was in 6th grade, I wasn't that dumb. The atmosphere and the fact that a nurse in the back started crying made it obvious. While I was standing there in shock, the nurse handed me something, saying, "Oh, by the way, Sayaka left something for you if you ever came by." It was the Game Boy and Saga 2 I had lent her. I took it and went straight home. I didn't even eat dinner, I just went to my dark room and turned on the Game Boy. The nostalgic opening music played, followed by the loading screen. There were 2 save files. One was the game she and I had played together, almost unchanged from when we left off. The other was a new save file with a much lower level. I thought she might have started a new game and then quickly lost interest, so I loaded that save file. The names of the 4 party members were: "Nurse, help, please save me."